Son, I still want to know what your name is. Son, you're 2 months and change from being born. And I'm thinking about your future. I'm thinking about what it will be like when you are a young man. When you are newly a young man and trying to figure out your way in this world and figure out what it means to be a man, what kind of man you want to be. Trying to understand your relationship to your masculinity, your sexuality, women, femininity. I grew up in a time where I received little to no guidance around these things, and most of what was available did more harm than good. I'm hoping by the time that you're a young man that it'll be a different landscape and you'll feel well supported. I'm certainly going to do everything I can to make that so. It's not easy. Again, at the time when I'm recording this, a lot of men are very lost and confused. We received messaging for a long time around how we were supposed to be as men, and then a lot of that messaging just became increasingly clear that it wasn't working. Women hit a point where they drew a line in the sand and said, no more. That the ways in which men had been operating in the world and relating with women was causing a lot of harm. And generations upon generations upon generations of women were traumatized in this process. And what is much less talked about, at least during this time, is that a lot of men were traumatized in this process also. I want you to know that I know that being a man is not easy. That there can be a lot of mixed messages and a lot of um, messages around what you're not supposed to do, what you're not supposed to be. And again, at the time of this recording, there is much less modeling of what you get to be. Too much of the messaging is either pretty poor messaging that's these days referred to as toxic masculinity, or it's messaging that's a backlash against that and a message of don't do this, don't be that, stop these things, and all the ways in which you as a man are going to harm, are the perpetrator, are guilty by virtue of being man. And I understand why I do. There's a lot of pain. A lot of pain that has been done primarily by men, not entirely, but primarily by men for a very long time. I want you to know that it's not enough to just not do shitty things. It's not enough to call yourself a good man. A good man is not simply defined by what he doesn't do, but by what he does. And particularly in this time when there is clearly an epidemic, widespread trauma and victimization. Good men aren't simply ones who aren't traumatizing, but those who are actively part of the solution, helping both stop this from continuing, as well as helping heal the wounds. That's what it is to be a good man. Actively be part of the solution. I want you to be a man that you can be proud of being. A lot of men today are struggling with that notion because, again, there's just a lot of examples and messaging around everything that's bad, wrong, toxic, harmful about the ways in which men have been. And there's an incredible opportunity here. There's an opportunity to rewrite these codes of masculinity and what it means to be a man, to rewrite them in a way that empowers us as well as everyone else. I want you to embrace your masculinity. There are so many healthy elements of masculinity that have been connected to in different cultures around the world throughout history, some of which we need more of today. These masculine principles of groundedness, of integrity of word, honor, strength, of body, but also of mind and spirit, directionality, the ability to make things happen, to gain clarity and then act, the ability to take decisive action, the ability to create safety and to create a safe container, meaning a space in which things can occur in. So creating a container, whether it is whether it is a specific experience, the environment around you, a sexual experience, is a container. You could think of it like a bubble that you're creating around you and the people in that space of safety. And the starting point for that is by becoming a safe man. And the starting point of that is by finding your safety and security within. Your safety and security within. Well, I intend to raise you to the best of my ability. I'm sure I will make mistakes nonetheless. And if you are anything like me, you'll carry wounds. You'll carry wounds into adulthood. And those wounds, well, a lot of men have a tendency to either numb themselves out from those wounds, to learn to not feel, to drink or drug themselves, to dissociate, to disconnect, to lose themselves in video games or porn, or all these things, to just dissociate from feeling, and or to lash out from that pain. And with that, lashing out cause pain onto others. Seek to heal within. Be willing to ask for support. Support your brothers. Practice speaking and sharing the things that are hard to share. I'm a fan of this phrase of powerful vulnerability. Being connected to your power enough that you can be vulnerable to open up and share the most sensitive or vulnerable aspects of yourself, your life, your experience, your thoughts, your feelings, knowing that you will be okay. That however anyone or anything responds to you, you've built that strength within, you'll be okay. And the powerful vulnerability of how opening in that way, sharing in that way, speaking that which people don't speak, itself is powerful. It has a powerful effect on other people. There's so much I want to share with you. Your relationship to yourself ends up being the foundation. This is of the notion that I've discovered along my path of being internally validated and externally referenced. Let me explain. Being internally validated. This, well, contrasted to being externally validated. Externally validated is where you are constantly looking to other people for approval and acceptance, or letting you know in one form or another that you're okay and that you're enough. Whether it's from women, through their attention or sex, whether it's from other men, buddies, people online, likes, definite way in which people seek external validation. Let us know that I'm okay. Let me know that what I'm sharing is valuable, and therefore I am valuable. You are valuable, period. Period. Regardless of likes, regardless of other people's reactions or responses, or how other people see or understand you. Now, externally referenced. This is the part that can keep you from being a bull in a china shop. Externally referenced means that you can still pay attention to how other people are reacting or responding to you. They're just not defining your worth. They're not defining your value. It's simply information. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Now with that information, check in what feels right and make your adjustments from there. As you become more expressed as a sexual man, I want you to commit to mastering your sexual energy. Sexual self-mastery is a path. It's not just a one and done check type of a thing. It is a commitment to learning to feel deeply. There are all sorts of things that are going on inside of your body when you're experiencing arousal. And if you're not connected with it, if you don't understand it, if you don't master it, it will master you. Too many men feel like they have to either their sexual energy is running the show. It's dictating what is happening, where they're going, where their attention is, and the choices they make. In other words, you get turned on, you've got to do something with that turn on. You gotta try to get laid. You gotta rub one out. Or there's a sense of you get turned on, it's not okay, shut it down, repress it, suppress it, lock it down, not okay. That's not a solution either. There's a third way, which is learning how to just be with your sexual energy. Being able to contain your sexual energy, being able to feel your sexuality, your sexual energy course through your system. Feel the turn on effect in your body. Enjoy that feeling of turn. Enjoy the feeling of desire within you without needing to quench that desire. Doesn't mean you can't, but you don't need to. That is choice. That is conscious choice. And ultimate conscious choice, that is power. Anything other than conscious choice is the lack of power. I want you to know that you're capable of so much, whoever you are, that however other people see you, or even how you see yourself, is barely a fucking glimpse of what you really are, who you are really capable of being. Underneath the clothes, the social signaling, the tattoos, the hairstyles, the skin that you're in, the personality that you like to project, the personality you like to think of yourself as, underneath all of that, there is a core essence, and that essence, that is who you are. That is who you are. And that essence has limitless possibility, limitless possible expression. We get locked up into these very limited notions of who I am and who I'm not and what I'm capable of and what I'm not capable of. For the most part, it's bullshit. You're infinite. It's the stories we end up creating that lock us down, lock us in. And so as you start to center in on an identity, fuck with it intentionally. Push outside of what you believe your sense of self is and discover what else you are capable of, who else you're capable of being. The next generation of men right there. I want for you to commit to understanding women and the feminine as a force in the world, the feminine within you. When I say commit to that understanding, I don't mean, again, it's not a check mark. Ah, I understand now. If you ever think you understand, you don't understand shit. I spent my whole life trying to understand, And there's so much I have come to understand. And there's so much more I'll never understand. It's much like, you know, the human experience with life itself. We've spent all of humanity trying to understand this life. We've dedicated countless hours of human work and ingenuity into trying to understand this. What is this? What is this life? How does this work? Trying to understand at the microscopic level and the macroscopic level, cosmic level. And we understand so much more than we did. I mean, 1,000 years ago? Wow. 100 years ago, it's massively grown. Let alone 1,000 years ago. Where will be 100 years or 1,000 years from now? And even still, 100 years or 1,000 years is a blink of a fucking eye. No matter how much we pour in, no matter how much we know, drop of what is to know, what there is to know. So is the case with the feminine. Enigma, an endless mystery, and one that is worth endlessly pursuing. Be in pursuit of that mystery. And the truth is that if you ever did like fully solve the mystery, fully figure it out, it would lose some of its luster, wouldn't it? Or some of its allure. Part of the big draw, fascination, is in the unknown. So enjoy the unknown and seek to understand. There is a lot that can be understood. She desires, wants, needs, first and foremost, feeling of safety, physical safety, and emotional safety. And women, the feminine on this planet as a whole, do not feel safe. Does not feel safe. This is what like the Me Too movement was all about, just a cry out for we just want to feel safe. And now we're going to demand it. Shape up, men, because we're not tolerating this anymore. And yet, even still, it continues in one form or another. Better, I believe. Elements that I don't know, but I believe. But we need a new generation of men to do better. To do better than my generation did, certainly better than the generation before that. Young women, as they are, have a greater spaciousness to get to know themselves and their truths and their own sexuality. They are discovering what those truths are, their desires, their spheres, their boundaries. And that's one of the big things that you can do and be for her is you can create the space for her to discover her own sexuality. I was on a call with a, I don't know, mid-late 20-year-old woman today who's in the program that I'm in right now. And she was talking about how she has spent her entire dating life or sexual life thus far just kind of going along with whatever the guy wants. So here she is 26, 27 years old, and she doesn't know what she really wants or likes sexually. That is the opportunity for you. Be the man who creates the space for her to have that discovery. Open up that space and learn how to help draw out her sexual desire and watch it blossom, watch it bloom, watch something come alive within her that cannot be forced, coerced, talked into, manipulated, taken, convinced, tricked. pressured, on and on. All these things that so many men have done that they think that they need to do in order to get a woman to have sex with them. First of all, let's just drop into that for a moment. If you are in a mindset where you think that there's something that you need to manipulate or figure out or convince or pressure or whatever her to do in order to have sex with you, that speaks first and foremost of your belief, underlying belief, conscious or unconscious, that a woman couldn't just want to actively desire, that's a better way of putting it, couldn't actively just desire you, couldn't actively desire sex with you. What's that about? Can you believe that you could be desirable? That you have something of value to offer a woman? That your sexuality can be a gift? That your sexuality itself could be something of value that you can offer and share with a woman that she could actively want and crave from and with you? Now, what if you could? What if you operated from that place? Operated from that knowing that your sexuality can be a gift, not from the like egotistical, I'm God's gift to women, you should be lucky if you have sex with me. Because first of all, that is often actually a mask hiding a deeper fear that that's not true. So that's not what I'm speaking about. She's just as much of a gift to you. Her sexuality is just as much of a gift for you. But it's owning that there is a value to your sexuality that can be, your sexuality can be a weapon that harms, and it can be a gift that heals. Which is it going to be? Your sexuality could be a weapon that harms, or it could be a gift that heals. Right now, we need men's sexuality to be a gift that heals. And it can be fun and enjoyable and connecting and fulfilling for both of you. It's hard if you've grown up on porn like I did, and young men today even more so, because I mean, I grew up for some, Playboy magazines, but mid 20s and had started to shift into more hardcore internet porn. When you've consumed so much of that, it's going to have an impact on your psyche and how you think about sex. Even if on one level you're like, oh, I get that's not real, it's performance, it's just porn or what have you. There's still this other part that you are in a heightened aroused state where that like veil between the conscious and the unconscious mind is the thinnest, where the unconscious mind is the most susceptible when you're in a heightened turned on state. And meeting it again and again with particular type of imagery, particular power dynamics, particular notions of what sex is supposed to be. And sex, pornified sex can be fun, don't get me wrong. I've had plenty as well. It can be fun. But it's a sliver of what's possible. A sliver of what's possible. And there are places that you can access and experience through your sexuality that blow away anything that porn tries to show and express. As something that's difficult to put into words, it's something that has to be experienced. It's an ego death. It's its own psychedelic experience. It's a merging of two beings, and maybe even a merging with like consciousness, life, God, spirit, source itself. And right now we have a very real problem in our culture around women feeling violated. And yes, I know men too can be violated. I've been violated. And right now I'm going to focus in this direction. It's the larger problem, but I think it all needs to be addressed. That this whole notion of consent that is finally at least being talked about, I'd like to share my take on it. Sometimes some aspect of it is verbal. And asking permission. And that doesn't have to be breaking the moon, as a lot of folks really fear. There are ways in which you can play with your words that can be so sexy. Coming in close to one another, looking into each other's eyes, glancing down at her lips, looking back at her eyes, looking at her lips, biting or licking your own, looking back at her eyes, and placing your finger at her chin, licking her lips again and say, "May I?" It can be hot. So much of it is the dynamic that you're in, the energy that you are holding within yourself. But in asking a question, there also has to be room for her yes as well as her no. And this is one of the areas that can get tricky because women are in their own growth process around all of this. And women are still finding their voice. And what I mean by that is a lot of women still struggle with the fact that they can say no about sex, but really about so much more than sex, especially younger women. And in their own desire for external validation, their own desire to feel okay enough, desired, make you happy, please you, not uh, not somehow upset you or evoke your anger. Too many women can just go along with what they think you want, even if it's not their truth. And so I invite you, as a good man, to take it on to draw out where her truth is, not just be okay with the fact that she didn't say no. To hold her and her desire and her boundaries is more important than how quickly the sex occurs, or even if it happens. The world is actually a plenty. Right now, there's over 7 billion people on the planet. More than 3.5 billion of them are female. There's abundance of women. There's abundance of sexual possibility. And even if it has been a long time, or you feel like you've had a few experiences of late, the more you're, or ever, the more you're able to really sink into that notion of abundance, that it doesn't have to happen right here, right now with this one person, actually increases the likelihood that it will. Because you're more relaxed and you're moving more from the right place. And something in her will relax and open. with women, there are these two major, uh, I don't know, elements that need to be addressed or brought into right proportion in order for her um, to truly enjoy sex. One part is safety, physical and emotional, and the other is the activation of her desire, often through some form of play of polarity. Um, how do you present yourself to the world? How do you present yourself to her? While our genetics, we have limited control over, we have a lot of control over how we present ourselves. Too many women complain that too many men don't even pay attention to, quote, basic hygiene. Making sure you smell good, or at least don't smell bad, that your skin's not oily or dirty, that your appearance is unkempt, that you're dressing to flatter your body rather than just throwing anything on. Women have an eye for beauty and aesthetic. And most women appreciate a man who puts in effort to look good, puts in effort because he recognizes that she has a desire of her own and that she deserves a man who will put in to effort to please her eye for aesthetic. Just as you likely desire a woman who presents herself in a manner that you find attractive or beautiful. There's so much I want to say to you. Honoring her no is not the end all be all. It's the fucking starting point. It's the bare minimum. You got that? And her no is not just with words. Oh, this is a big one. Can I express this in this video? Um, it's more than just a binary yes or no. Her body opens and closes moment by moment. Major openings and major closings to micro shifts in musculature, micro tensions and relaxations. You can learn to tune into these micro shifts in her body and her energy. This is where presence, getting out of your head, becoming more embodied, feeling in your body, tuned into your five senses, all come into a play. Again, connecting into yourself. Then, only then, can your body become the tool to feel what is going on for her and her body. And those moments, this is what can have her feel, whether you're going too fast for her or too slow for that matter. Her body is giving you messages. It is communicating. And if her body and her mouth are saying two different things, it's still a no. Whether her mouth is saying yes and her body's saying no, still no. If her body's saying yes and her mouth is saying no, still no. There are ways in which you can explore that with her. It's true there are times where what's really meant is not now, not yet. I don't feel open enough. I don't feel safe enough. I don't have my desire isn't stoked enough. But it's a delicate knife's edge between just um, a clear honoring of of a no, and an exploration of is this stop and scene, let me drive you home, no, or is this there's something more you're needing and even wanting in order to be opened? Are you calling to be further open? Or are you wanting me to take a step back? I can do either. I'm unattached. It is a world of plenty. I am okay and I am enough and I am whole and I am full, regardless of your decisions. I want to play with you. I want to explore with you. I want to explore your body and your sexuality together with me. And I fully honor, respect, revere your bodily autonomy, your right to say yes, your right to say no. It's also amazing how much when you hold that frame, how much more likely she is to want to, because she's no longer feeling she has to defend against you. And if you're doing it for that reason, well, if I totally honor her autonomy, so then she'll maybe have, open to me, have sex with me, then it doesn't work, work, quote unquote. You've got to find that place within you. You got to find a place of fulfillment within you, your own enjoyment of life and yourself. Seek out brothers who can be of support and who can help hold you to this, because there will be points where you get challenged. There'll probably be points where you get lost. You need brothers to help check you, help pull you back in. Whether it's something that I'm offering the world can be of help, or something that you find through other means, I just want you to have it. I just want you to have it. There's so much more, but I think that'll be it for tonight's Submissive. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you found something valuable here.